Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spenner will now be opposed in this fall's election. More on that. Plus, it was a big night last night at the WBDC Country Showdown, and tonight's edition of Inform featuring the winning Showdown performance. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. A former Huntingburg police chief has decided to run against Denny Spenner this fall for the Huntingburg mayor's position. Yesterday, former Huntingburg Police Chief Ron Drew filed papers with the Du Bois County Clerk's office seeking the position as a Democrat this November. A native of Oakland City, the 64-year-old Drew served 8 years as head of the city's police department and spent 32 years with the department altogether, serving at every officer level within the department prior to becoming chief. He retired as chief in 2013 and became the town marshal of Holland later that year. Drew says he's thought about politics for some time since retiring from law enforcement. He says there were several other people who influenced his decision.
I've had people from both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party urging me to run, wanting me to run, thought that I would be a good candidate for it. And I've been here in town for 32 years as far as a police officer. Of course, it's a good community, good, clean community, and I enjoy being here. This is not my home, but I consider it my hometown.
As for a path to victory this fall, Drew says there are a couple of keys.
You have to treat people the way that you want to be treated. You have to have an ear for the people when they come in. You need to be listening to what they're telling you. You can't talk and listen at the same time. And I think you have to be fair. I think you have to be fair for the people. I think what's right for one person is right for the other person. I don't think there's any in-betweens.
As mentioned earlier, Drew will square off with current Huntingburg Mayor Republican Denny Spenner coming up in the November 3rd general election. The fight is on to save Otwell Elementary from closing after next school year. Last night, about 250 people packed their way into the Otwell Community Center to discuss saving the school for future generations. Now, earlier this week, the Pike County School Board voted 4-1 to close the school at the end of the 2015-2016 school year, citing ongoing budget issues. The effort to save the school is being headed up by the Jefferson Township Ruritan Club. Tina Weissman led last night's meeting, and she is a board member for the Ruritan Club and spoke as a former Indiana Student Achievement Institute employee. She says the decision to close the school has generated plenty of emotion in the community.
I think there's a lot of frustration because there's a lot of unanswered questions. The information evidently hasn't been very clear. And it's almost like a death in the community. I know we were at our Ruritan meeting Monday night when the word came through, and there were audible gasps in the room because that school has been here for a long, long time. And we all have been a part of it in some way, shape, or form.
Weissman says several different solutions were proposed last night, including bringing a previously defeated referendum back for another vote with some changes. Weissman says many people felt the referendum, which was defeated in May with 68% of residents voting no, did not lay out a clear plan for how the $2.3 million in additional tax revenue to the district would be spent. Weissman says if a clear plan for the money were to be laid out in the referendum, there would likely be more support for it the second time around.
We all work very hard for our money, and we want to help each other, but at the same time we all know we have limited resources, and we don't fritter things away. We're pretty conservative around here, and so we want to make sure that money goes to the right places and it's spent very wisely.
Of course, last night's public meeting is only the beginning of the push to save Otwell Elementary. Weissman says there will be more to come in the days and months ahead.
Next Wednesday, there'll be a steering committee meeting. If people will start contacting the website to check on that, and we'll start with the Ruritan website, and then we will go from there and link it up to the Friends of Otwell Elementary. Just keep very aware of it, tell others in the community about it, and I'm sure that next school board meeting will be about as well attended as this one.
That first steering committee meeting will get underway next Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. Now, Aaron Weissman is also among those leading the fight to save Otwell Elementary. Weissman, who lives in Otwell, is a board member for the Pike County Chamber of Commerce and a family doctor at Deaconess Clinic in Petersburg. Weissman, who has young children of her own, says keeping the school alive is a key part of the town's future.
What has inspired me to get involved is that Otwell is such a great community of people. They really bind together, they love each other, they take care of each other, and this is one way that I know that they're very passionate about keeping their children in the elementary school here in town. I'm inspired to be a part of this program because I hope that my kids at some point can go to Otwell Elementary as well.
A petition circulated last night to keep the school open generated almost 300 signatures. A trio of national publications have recognized Holiday World and Splash and Safari among their top theme parks for 2015. The park is featured on the newly released 15 Best Amusement Parks for Kids list from Parents Magazine. Holiday World is one of only 2 parks from the Midwest on this list, which mostly features Disney and Universal parks located on both coasts. Parents Magazine is a monthly publication with a circulation of 2.2 million. Then the June edition of Better Homes and Gardens put Holiday World on its list of the top 10 theme parks. Better Homes and Gardens, with a circulation of 7.7 million, mentions Splash and Safari's record-breaking Mammoth Water Coaster as a highlight. And finally, the park made some noise on the newly unveiled Reader's Choice Online poll on USA Today. USA Today announced that the new Thunderbird Steel roller coaster was nominated for Best New Park Attraction, while the Voyage Wooden roller coaster is in the running for Best Roller Coaster honors. Of course, USA Today's circulation is at 3.3 million people. For direct links to vote daily in the Reader's Choice poll, you can go to holidayworld.com/vote. The 2015 WBDC Country Showdown is now in the books, and it was a big night. This year's winner was David Wayne of Huntingburg. Wayne says the showdown has been a big part of his life for many years now, and he says the set of songs that he chose was reflective of beliefs that he wanted to share.
You know, the Bible talks about keeping God first, seeking Him and His righteousness, His kingdom and His righteousness, and all the other things come to it. And I think I've been working on that over the years, your character. And of course we do the bug thing, B&B, and like taking on the job, but it's nice when that lady could talk about the Lord here, and they don't mind you doing that on the show. So I think it all come full circle for me right here. I'm so glad my daughter talked me into really doing that this year.
Bethany Official of Huntingburg was this year's first runner-up, and the second runner-up was Julie Garcia. Wayne will now compete for $1,000 and the chance to advance to the regional competition in the fall coming up in August at the Indiana State Fair. 5 regional winners then get a chance to go to the national finals, where they compete for $100,000 in grand prize and the title of the Best New Active Country Music. As a reminder, you'll be able to watch a replay of the showdown in its entirety here on 18 WJTS. It will air Thursday, June 25th at 7:30 Eastern Time following our newscast, and again at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday, June 28th. And finally tonight, yesterday was a successful day for adoptions at the DuBois County Humane Society. The Humane Society says 10 animals were adopted yesterday as part of a national adopt-a-thon. The society has seen nearly 200 adoptions within the first 5.5 months of 2015. Last year, the Humane Society set its record for adoptions at 427. In 2013, there were 204 adoptions for the entire year. Now, the National Adopt-a-thon had a theme of just one day. The goal of the campaign is to get animal shelters across the United States to stop killing animals and instead embrace being a nation of no-kill animal shelters. For more information, you can go to justoneday.ws. All right, coming up after the break, your weekend forecast and the winning performance from last night's Country Showdown. We're back after this.